Tasty One Top is a smart induction cooktop. It helps you cook accurately because you know at what temperature things are cooking, which will help you recreate your recipes over and over again. It also works with special recipes that we've developed specifically for the One Top, as well as old tasty recipes that use the precision temperatures to help you get your best results. So the One Top is an induction cooktop. And all that really means is just that your pan has to have some sort of magnetic base to it in some way. Cast irons are, stainless steel, most non-sticks. Majority of pans these days are induction safe, so it shouldn't be a huge deal. So a lot of non-sticks now, they'll just include like a little magnetic plate on the bottom of them. But a really easy way to check if your stuff is induction, if it doesn't say so on it, is to use like a really basic kitchen magnet. So these are some cute little food magnets, aren't they adorable? And if it sticks to your pans, then you know that they're induction safe. These are all good to go. All right, let's talk probes. So this is the temperature probe. This is gonna be taking the temperature of whatever you're cooking. So this is the jack that's gonna go into the One Top itself, and this is the food thermometer. Where the temperature probe is actually reading is just above the tip. So there's this removable part that you can take off as well. This is what you're gonna use if you ever want to do any sous vide cooking or some of our deep frying recipes. You will put this on the side of your pan, and this will hold the probe in place during cooking. Really easy to clean, and again, because the whole thing is wrapped in silicone, you really can't melt it. All right, so again, this is going to go in your food, and this is the end that's gonna go into the One Top on the right-hand side. So go ahead, just like a headphone jack, it goes in really easily. Now, in terms of where you're gonna place your probe, this is probably the most important part of when you're cooking with the probe. Up here, we have the widest bit. It tapers down at the end. So we really wanna make sure that we're getting the food thermometer right where my finger is. I'm gonna avoid any big pockets of fat because that's gonna mess with my temperature. And I wanna really get it in the center of the steak. I'm gonna put it in through the side so that the thermometer has more of the meat to hold on to. So I want that tip to be right in the center. You want to make sure that you're not angling it up or down, but you're getting a kind of parallel to the surface of which you're working so that you're getting a really accurate reading throughout. The reason why I'm kind of angling it in here is because I'll get more of the metal part in the actual steak, which is going to hold on to it a little bit better for me and help it stay in during cooking. Same deal here with the chicken breast. So it's wider at the top and then it tapers out toward the bottom. And there's a thick part here, but I'm also gonna turn it over. So even though this is wide, there's a kind of a divot here, and it seems to me that when I'm feeling it, this is the thickest part up here on the right. So that's where I'm gonna stick my probe, right there. So I'm gonna turn it back over. And again, I'm gonna angle the probe from the bottom up just to make sure that I have enough chicken for the probe to go in. If I went here, it wouldn't really be enough. Here, I'm getting much more chicken to stick the probe into. So it's gonna hold on to the probe during cooking and still have the tip end up in the most thickest central part of the chicken breast. It's not as difficult as it sounds, promise. And then salmon, here's another instance just so you can really like bring the point home. So here we have, obviously it's all the same width right now, but if you turn it on its side, you can see that there's obviously a much thicker part. So again, that's where we're gonna stick our probe, right in the center there. The only problem is if I came in from the side, there wouldn't be enough fish to really hold the probe during cooking. So for the salmon, I want to come in from the top down. It's going to have much more fish that the probe can kind of stick into to make the cooking really easy. Again, you can kind of feel where it ends up, trying to get it in the center. Basically, I mean, it's really just common sense. You just need enough meat to kind of hold onto the thermometer so that it's not falling out during cooking. And also, wherever the probe is, that's going to work with our app to give you the precise result that you're looking for. All right, so you're gonna go into the One Top app. This is a dedicated app just for controlling the One Top, full of cool perks and tricks and recipes. When you open your app, it should automatically connect to the One Top. You'll know when the blue light comes on the right that your One Top is connected to the app. We have all these sections in here, steak, veggies, sides, sauces that you can go into, or you can just browse all the recipes that we have specifically designed for the One Top. So you can see all of those here. We have, tabletop cooking, we've got grains, all this awesome stuff. And then if you click over to the compatible side, these are old recipes that we have upgraded. They don't have as much, precision control, but they still work really, really well and are super easy and fun to use in the One Top. All right, so another feature that we have is this cute little chef hat up here. And in this section, you can connect to your Facebook, you can save recipes, and it'll also keep track of all the recipes that you've cooked. So if you're ever busy cooking, you loved it, and you forgot which recipe it was, you can always go back and see those recipes here. And in this white bar section, if you will, we have the basic, precision, and sous vide mode. So in basic, you're just gonna use it like a normal hot plate. We're gonna go through 1 through 10 power levels. You can set a timer here, which is super convenient.
We've also got precision mode, and this is where you really want to set a very specific surface temperature or thermometer temperature, as well as sous vide mode. So if you find a cool recipe online you want to try out on the one top, you don't have to be limited to the recipes that we've done for you. We're going to swipe down, and let's go into steak. We have all these photos here so that if you don't know exactly what cut of steak you have from the grocery store, you can choose the one that's closest to the one that you purchased. We're gonna do filet today, and when you go into the filet section, it starts off by saying how many total steps there are, how many ingredients, so you kind of know what you're getting yourself into. You have photos of everything that you need. You can save or share the list. You can send it to yourself when you're at the grocery store. All the equipment that you're gonna need. We have all the steps that you're gonna be getting yourself into, and even some suggestions for what to eat it with. We just really want you to feel prepared, like you know what's coming. Again, just gather all of your ingredients, make sure that you're ready to go. Next, it's gonna ask you how you like your steak. So we've already pre-tested all the donenesses, and the internal temperatures are already programmed in here. So whether you want your steak medium rare or well done, whatever you choose, you're gonna get a perfect result. We're gonna choose medium rare, and let's get going. These decals down here show that we need a pan as well as the probe to do this recipe. All right, and then it goes through like a normal tasty recipe. And then when we get to the point where we're ready to cook in a recipe, this prompt is gonna come up saying, press the power button on your one top. And that's just sending the recipe to the one top so that they can talk to each other throughout this process.
So in order to start cooking, you need to have an induction safe pot on the surface. And then if you are using a thermometer at any point in the recipe, you do need to make sure it's plugged in before you get started.
So one thing that we've ensured that all recipes have is a preheat step. So you can see it has the temperature that the surface is right now, as well as the goal temperature. So once the pan is ready to go at that 380 degrees, then it's gonna proceed and you're gonna be ready to go to the next step. And so once we're ready to go, we're gonna put our steak into the pan, making sure that we're getting a good amount of oil on it, as well as good contact with the pan as always. And then we're gonna press start. So we have a timer built in to get a good sear on both sides according to the doneness that you want. Again, always ensuring we're getting a really good crust by pressing it down. These cascading lights just mean it's in recipe mode. So that's when you know the app is telling the one top what to do. And then when the timer is up, we are ready for the next step. Later on in the recipe, the timer will turn into a goal temperature. So as soon as our internal temperature of the steak is 125 degrees, it's gonna alert us, and we know now to take our steak out, it's done cooking.
So this will also work with old tasty recipes. And this is one of my favorite old tasty recipes, the honeycomb toffee, and it'll work with the one top as well. It's a little bit different because we did these recipes prior to developing the one top, but it'll help you with the temperature control and all of that. And with this recipe especially, helps me get to the 300 degrees Fahrenheit that I need in order to make the honeycomb. So even if you're not following a tasty recipe, you can still use the one top and you can control in the app itself or manually on the unit. But the cool thing about this is even if you are in basic mode, you're still getting the temperature of the surface as well as whatever the probe is reading. So it's a much more accurate way to cook because you know exactly what temperature you're cooking at. Another thing that's really great about the one top is how low the temperature can go. So I'm not that afraid to melt chocolate on this thing because I know this can go lower than any of my other stovetops can or any of other hot plates. Gives me a beautiful result, and I don't have to do a double boiler or microwave it or anything. I can do it all right on the one top. So it's even good for these more delicate tasks as well. One thing I hate about cooking is cleaning my stove. And the nice thing about the one top is that it's so easy to clean. You just spray any really like soft, easy household cleaner. Vinegar works really well, but any just like soft dish soap diluted with a bit of water would work fine. But you don't have to lift any grates. You're not getting under that weird kind of crevice in between your stove and your countertop or anything that always catches food. It's disgusting. And then if you have any really bad stains on it or anything, any good glass or cooktop cleaner will work really well on the surface itself. Tasty One Top combines induction cooking with precision temperature control, making it easy to cook all of your favorite recipes with one appliance. When following a recipe in the Tasty app, the One Top automatically adjusts its temperature to precisely match the recipe instructions. The One Top's thermometer probe measures the heat of your liquids, meats, and fish to cook to the desired temperature or your chosen doneness. Use the One Top for almost any type of cooking: sous vide, pan fry, stir fry, grill, simmer, saute, slow cook, sear, and poach to perfection. Welcome to the Tasty One Top! It's the best!